Hey guys, it's LG Shaft, and we are going to be looking at a best of three. Actually, we're going to be looking at two best of threes. Both of them are from the Rhythmics RSL tournament. And this isn't a very known tournament, but a lot of players did show up at it, a lot of really skilled players. And tonight we're going to be looking at Nerchio's games versus both WhiteRa and Mal's CC Mana. Both are very renowned Protoss players, and we're just going to be looking at ZVP, PvZ, and the nuances within the games. This is game one. There should be, best of three, so somewhere between 4 and 6 games, hopefully. So, yeah, this is game number one. It's going to be on Ohana. It is Nerchio versus WhiteRa, two of my absolute favorite players, so yeah, I mean, there's not really a lot to say, about these two players that most people don't already know. But if there's a couple of newer players, here is the Blues, R.J. McFerguson. His name's Acer Nerchio, and he's known for his really aggressive tactics. He's known for just doing some crazy off-the-wall shenanigans. Um, Sometimes doing proxy hatches in PvZ just to get like a 14-14 ling timing into a fast expansion. Just really off the wall absurd things. So definitely looking forward to whatever he throws at this guy, the red Protoss player who is sending a probe across the map. Of course, that is required after dropping that first pylon. Excuse me. And this will allow him to block, expansions and whatnot. It's this guy, WhiteRa. We've actually had his teammate, TT Pig, come on the show and break it down for us on how to play Zerg versus Protoss exactly right. And yeah, with this guy as your practice partner, that definitely is something you're going to have to learn pretty quickly. WhiteRa, of course, also known for his special tactics. And so, no matter what, this is promising to be one hell of an insane game. Definitely looking forward to it. My friend Cryptus actually just logged on. Sorry guys, definitely letting him know that we're casting. This was not scheduled. Now remember earlier I mentioned he liked to do 14-14. This is definitely not 14-14. He's getting this pull up. He's not really trying to contest WhiteRa for the expansion location though. It's about 200 minerals in. He's sending the drone, but he's going to find this probe there. Uh-oh, WhiteRa. Okay, there we go. WhiteRa moving right on into block. Okay, and Nerchio will run past that. Interesting stuff here. This is apparently a scouting drone. Ah, 4 lings are on the way. Queen, he's still not trying to take this expansion. I don't know what's up here. 6 lings on the way. Okay, this drone right here is not a scouting drone. Remember that proxy hatch thing I told you he liked? This is looking like a variation of that. Hold on. There's the proxy hatch. Boom! I have not seen these replays yet, guys. I promise you. This is just super standard Nerchio, and I know it seems weird to call this standard, but he's building a hatchery next to a cannon that was already building. Another gateway's laid down. This has completely destroyed WhiteRa's planned actions here. Okay, this Ling's going to target down this drone, cancels the hatchery at the last second. That's usually his response there. Loses the drone, but he did manage to get 4 of his Lings in. The other 2 are going to have to be sent back home. But he's got 4 Lings in his opponent's base. That is always good. He's completely wrecked that opening build. Looks like WhiteRa's recovered just fine, though. Now he's just got these 4 lings in the Protoss base, and that's huge. He's going to constantly force these probes to pull off minerals or pull off gas, either one, or risk dying. Now, the Zealot's out, so they have to be really careful not to die themselves. But, oh, Nerchio's making the probes pull off again. 1 ling does finally go down, but hey, he's been super, super annoying, so it's more than worth it. Now, without focusing too much on that, we've got Nerchio using these other two lings to scout around his second and third bases, make sure that no cannon rushes are going up, no proxy pylons or anything retarded like that. And he's still got lings in his opponent's base. He's still harassing the probe line. He's making it really impossible to put any kind of tech up, because then WhiteRa will be revealing what he's planning on doing. Actually, the Robo facility has been scouted now with that Overlord. Okay, and still two lings inside the space. I know WhiteRa is upset. The sheer scouting information these guys are getting right now. And two more gases being taken here for the Protoss. Nerchio supply blocked, but that's okay. He didn't need it anyway. About 7 minutes into the game, and we've actually got the extractors finally being dropped. He was using the 44 supply mark instead of the 6-minute mark as his indicator for gas, and that's actually really smart with delaying himself like he did with that proxy hatch, because it really did set him behind what he did with the proxy hatch, but he knew the cost and he knew the benefit. He knew he was going to get at least 4 links into his base, into his opponent's base, and well, he thinks it's worth it. So I don't know, I have mixed feelings on it. Definitely feel free to talk about that in chat, guys, because stuff like that is really interesting to debate. But moving on into this game, we've got the Stalker Sentry, Stalker Zealot Force. This is really going to allow the Sentry Immortal All-In to build up and buy time. Hopefully it's going to make the Zerg make a few more units than he would really like to. In like maybe thinking this aggression is going to be a little bit stronger than it is, but no Protoss these days is actually doing any kind of attack behind this, which was a little bit different a couple of seasons ago. So yeah, this is going to be classic Immortal Sentry. Gateways are on the way, more Immortals popping out. Ooh, melee attack and Zergling speed are on the way. We don't usually see the melee attack upgrade. Usually it's roaches that are getting upgraded because of the, this gasless Stefano style into mass 200 roach at like 12 minutes. But it doesn't look like that's what we're going to be seeing, even though Glial Reconstitution's on the way, so that's roach speed. A lot of roaches are in production. He's just not going to get the upgrades for them, so maybe trying to get a quick Broodlord, I don't know. There is a Warp Prism on the way from our Protoss buddy. This is going to be really awesome. Hopefully he'll use that for some kind of two-prong attack. As he moves across the map, he's got 3 Immortals, 4 Sentries, but not a lot of Stalkers, not a lot of Zealots. If Nerchio could engage this right here and right now, he could overwhelm these forces. The problem is, most of his units are too far back. Oh, WhiteRa definitely overextending himself here, using some force fields, definitely good positioning here, but he needs this pylon to finish and to be able to get some Stalkers and Zealots to reinforce these units, because at the moment they're quite vulnerable. Okay, here's some more Stalkers. That's definitely what we needed to see. Warp Prisms here as well, so he can reinforce from 2 or 3 angles if need be, which is always beneficial to a Protoss player. And the force field's going to keep these roaches out, but they have a couple of Stalkers that they can pick on. These drones have been pulled off of the battle to deal with the Stalkers. This does not look very good for Nerchio. WhiteRa has killed more than enough drones here. 14 workers killed by WhiteRa at the moment. Now, Nerchio is going to manage to hold off the remainder of these forces, but more units are going to be reinforced, and it's just a couple of Zealots though, and this attack has been defended. Really awesome micro there by Nerchio. The problem for WhiteRa now is he's going to have to get like 3 Colossi to be able to really hold a third. By doing it this way, he's almost allowing the Zerg to apply pressure to his natural, and should he be able to hold that, that's good, that's fine. The Zerg will just, sit back and macro. WhiteRa will be forced into a situation where he has to have a third, but it's going to be simply impossible until he has the tech and the forces required. So at the moment he's going to harass with 2 stalkers and 2 sentries, but enough roaches and lings are there to chase him right on home. Infestation pit finishing up now. And there's the +2 ling speed, so probably going to see a hive followed quickly by a layer. They take exactly the same amount of time to finish, so that's the quickest way to get broodlords up. 4 roaches here hiding, actually avoiding that Protoss army. Really cool stuff. Really cool. Sloppy by WhiteRa. And those roaches coming right on back. Ooh, target firing that sentry, and that's a lot of energy. Those are several force fields that won't be casted the rest of this game. Huge roachling forces. Nerchio, man, just so aggressive. He throws his units away, just makes so many more, and that's keeping WhiteRa from ever getting really over 100 supply. Now, WhiteRa is trying to get that 3rd up, but if the Protoss can't get, a huge death ball, a huge number of units to support each other, Zerg is always in a dominant position. Ooh, a little sloppy there with the roaches, losing several more, 2 force fields, but the lings are going to wrap around, and the roaches can sandwich in there if... Nope, he's not actually going to. He's just going to run these lings right on past and going to target down this 3rd, which he can see with the Overlord. So the Protoss army getting caught way, way out of position, and that's going to allow Nerchio to defend simply by weight of the Protoss army being pulled back. The roaches are going to come in and clear some pylons off the map as well. That's going to deny the push from WhiteRa just a little bit longer. But 4 zealots are in this warp prism. The warp prism's going to get dropped right into the mineral line, and then more units are going to be warped in. The queen is target fired, but more roachling reinforcements, several infestors as well. A proxy hatch. Things are looking so good for Nerchio. He still doesn't have that 4th base that Zerg really want when they're going to go broodlords. But he hasn't got a hive yet, so it's not really an issue at the moment. And we see WhiteRa trying to do some more aggression. Uh-oh. This Immortal Sentry is going to be defended yet again, and without having a 3rd base, WhiteRa is looking like this has to work. He has to somehow make this attack work if he's going to continue in this game. The Spinecrawler is going to fall. Looks like he may be able to push through the rest of these roaches. Immortal doing a lot of damage here, Immortal, but he finally falls. Stalkers cleaning up some roaches, but the reinforcements advantage is there for Nerchio. WhiteRa dropping the GG, well played. Nerchio's a beast, yeah. Well, that is game 1, guys, so we're going to be moving right